How you doing, Beju?
I'm doing well, man. How are you guys?
I'm good. I was so impressed. This video that I saw online of you going to Queen's Park to state the case as to why vaping in general, liquids and e-cigs and all this stuff should be a part of this marketplace, and why people shouldn't discourage others from using it, and why we shouldn't be as strict on it as we should be on cigarettes, because that's been proven to kill. We've heard from Gopal Bhatnagar, a heart surgeon. We've heard from David Sweener, a professor, and you've been on the show a bunch of times, but I was thoroughly impressed with that presentation, man. That was solid.
Thanks, man. That was tough. I've never done anything like that before, and that I don't know if you guys from the video, if you could tell what that room's like, but there's 10 or 20 people behind you, and then they got all the guys on the table in front of you. They're just firing questions at you, right? We were the first group to go out of 37 presenters or something. And so we didn't know. I had no idea. I'd never seen one of these things before. And I walked in. I really didn't understand what they were going to ask me, if they were going to be nice or not nice. It was tough, man.
Well, and it was almost as if you're on trial here, but it doesn't feel like you're doing anything wrong. Is it tough growing a business of vaping where you know that you're helping? Obviously, it's so harm reducing in terms of what people are doing to their bodies. Is it frustrating for you saying, listen, I don't want kids to have this Vape Moshi. I don't want to glorify it like it's this wonderful, cool thing. I want to do it because we are helping people quit smoking and save their lives. And you're always on the defensive because of that. It's fucked.
Yeah, honestly, it is difficult because we'll get emails every day, right? From some of your listeners too. We get emails. We get emails from our customers talking about how they managed to quit smoking, and you get the warm and fuzzies, and then you go and you talk to somebody else, and you get a totally different perspective, right? And it's just the nature of being in an industry that's growing, and there's a lot of information out there that people have to sift through. It's difficult, and you saw it in the video too, right? There's definitely two sides kind of battling this out, and sometimes you do feel like you're stuck in the middle.
Were there questions that they asked you over at Queen's Park, some of these counselors, that surprised you, or were you pretty armed?
I don't think there was any real surprises. I mean, we knew that they were going to ask us about nicotine, right? I mean, that's an obvious issue, because right now the government, the federal government at least, there's really only two ways to get nicotine. It's either a medicine or tobacco. Now they've gone out and they've said pretty explicitly that they know they need to change that, right? The report in March that they released, the standing committee basically said they got to create a new product category. So there's going to be a process to get that done. But until then, you got two categories, and we're neither, right? We're not a tobacco, we're not a medicine. So what do you do? But this is just what it is. Every time you get a new technology, something that really disrupts an existing industry, you're going to have to go through changes. You have to figure out how to regulate them. Like, regulation's a good thing. It makes everything safer for consumers. It gives us a way to operate our business properly, and so we want that, but it's getting there, right? That's a struggle. We got to go through this kind of stuff.
Well, and the regulation stuff was interesting because they would ask you, how do you make sure you're putting on the right things and all your wonderful vapemoshi.com liquids and stuff. And I didn't realize there's a stringent process on how people come, and the organization again that you're a member of.
Yeah, it's the Electronic Cigarette Trade Association of Canada. We part of that is we have to label bottles a certain way. We have to have child safety caps. We have to have safety seals. We send our liquid in for third-party testing. We send it down to the States. There's a lab called Enthalpy Labs, and they do a full chemical workup. We report the results on the site, right? So you know exactly what's in it.
Yeah, there's not like someone making Mexican cheese in their bathtub, which there's been stories of that in the day. Like you guys are on the up and up, and that's the great part about regulation as well. And the other thing I was thoroughly impressed with what you said, and I keep going back to the impressive, is you said, you know what? This is nothing to do with children, okay? We don't want to glorify, we don't want to even go in a public place if there's children around there and vape. We want to make sure that we're doing this in an adult sort of environment. Fair enough?
Yeah, it's about trying to find a happy medium, right? Like, we understand that, look, there is something off-putting for a lot of people to see. Look, no one wants to I don't want to go to a mall and start vaping around kids, but I do think that there's something to be said for, look, if it's an adult-only place, there's no one under 19, and that there's nothing bad coming from the vape. Leave it up to the establishment. Like, well, why is that such a terrible thing? And my thought around that really was workplaces especially, too. Like, I quit smoking originally because I was vaping at my desk at work. and I think it'd be a lot harder if I had to go down the 6-story elevator outside, stay in the smoking section. I probably wouldn't have quit.
Well, and as a business owner, imagine the productivity increasing of people not leaving to always go for smoke breaks.
Yeah, well, like Jay was saying, he likes to take his little break, his little time out, right? Like, take that away from people. We're going to get more productivity.
Beju from vapemoshi.com. We're running out of time, but you know what we'll do is we'll stick around. We'll pre-record some stuff. We'll play it on tomorrow's show because there's a great story about you being in Las Vegas.
Sure,
there's all these trade shows. And so Beju from vapemoshi.com is at a trade show the weekend of the Pacquiao fight with Mayweather.
Oh, wow.
Imagine all the celebs that they run into.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting weekend.
So stay tuned to tomorrow's show, and you hear some of that because we're going to pre-record now with Beju. Thank you very much, man. You've helped out Jay so much, and that's why we always have you back. We are getting those testimonials from our Todd Shapiro Show listeners who are truly quitting smoking and using your product. We got one today on Twitter, and at the end of the day, man, something that lung cancer really affects my family personally, and not even from smoking. Thank you for helping people out, and that's my personal endorsement on it anyway.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just counting to 1. My name's Roddy. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because it's so much fun. You'll have a great time there.